Thanks, Jane, and welcome to the Late Look North. Good evening, I'm Megan Patterson. A man who received 2 life-saving stem cell transplants from his sister is urging others to sign up to the donor register. Ben Utley from County Durham was diagnosed with a rare blood condition in 2018. Since then, he's needed 2 transplants and his sister Holly has stepped in. Sharina Saga reports.
They say blood is thicker than water, and for Ben and Holly, it couldn't be more true. They've always been close, but a shock diagnosis in 2018 cemented their sibling bond.
There was no major signs of illness, so I was operating as I normally would, still going to work, still functioning. Just felt a little bit under the weather, and a lot of people had said that I was kind of a funny colour.
Ben was diagnosed with a condition which only affects around 100 people a year. It's called aplastic anemia, and it's when the body stops producing white blood cells. His only hope was a bone marrow transplant.
You hear a lot of horror stories, and it's kind of the worst case scenarios where people are on transplant lists for years and can't get a donor and things like that, which was quite a scary position to be in. But then when they explain that they have a register, like Anthony Nolan have their bone marrow registers, and things like your siblings can be donors, then it put my mind at ease quite a bit. And then eventually, luckily for me, my sister was able to be a donor.
There is no decision to be made when it's your brother. When we went in to do all the tests, and it came back, didn't it, that we were as close a match as like an identical twin. They said that it was quite remarkable.
The transplant was a success, until this time last year, when it unexpectedly failed. Ben was in hospital for 2 months with serious sepsis and would have died within weeks without an urgent second bone marrow transplant.
I needed it instantly, so to know that Holly was just ready to jump in straight away and just be there for anything that was needed was fantastic.
Ben was treated here at the Freeman Hospital in Newcastle, one of the UK's top 5 transplant centres. They perform around 60 similar stem cell procedures every year and rely heavily on donors.
There's only a 1 in 4 chance that brothers and sisters will match. That was critical in Ben's case, particularly for his second transplant, because we had to move very quickly. Obviously, I have lots of other patients who aren't in that situation, and therefore we are dependent upon the volunteers through the Anti-Nolan Registry who will give their stem cells to us to perform life-saving treatment.
Although Ben's transplants were 6 years apart, they both happened over the festive period, so this year's celebration in High Shincliffe will definitely be one to remember. Sharina Saga, BBC Look North, County Durham.
Emergency services are expecting a busy shift tonight, with lots of people heading out to pubs and clubs on what's often called Black Eye Friday. The North East Ambulance Service says this year brings particular pressures, with hospitals facing rising flu cases and a doctor's strike. Peter Harris reports from Durham.
It's a laugh for most, but it can also mean trouble. And this year's so-called Black Eye Friday brings a potential further pressure the ambulance crews and hospitals could do without, with resident doctors out on strike.
Trying to kind of keep the demand down to help out the hospitals, and then obviously working with the hospitals for when we do go in to make sure that our crews get turned around so they can come back out and see to members of the public who are needing us. Particularly this Friday night, as people are finishing work, maybe there's staff parties planned, that we do see a little bit of an increase, so whereas normally, we might respond to up to maybe 1,000 jobs. I think last year was about 1,200 jobs as an example of maybe the increased activity that we see.
Jeannie and Courtney are working in bars in Durham tonight. They're floor sales staff selling shots of alcohol to the punters, but they're also the eyes and ears of a scheme run by Durham Police and others to spot those made vulnerable by too much booze.
If someone has visibly had too much to drink, we will get them some water, not serve them any more alcohol because they don't need any more. And just make sure that they're with people who they trust. and making sure that they're drinking water and staying safe. So we'll be busy, there'll be a lot of people to keep our eyes out on, make sure everyone is staying safe.
And with it a warning as traditional as the tree itself. Take it easy.
Have fun, but know your limits. You can't drink as much as you think you can.
Peter Harris, BBC Look North.
Now, Sunderland band The Futureheads are playing tracks from their new album at 2 gigs, one tonight and one tomorrow, at Sunderland's fire station. The band told BBC Look North playing to home crowds is always special.
This is our way of celebrating Christmas as a band. We don't go to each other's houses on Christmas Day, so this is our kind of celebration of our creative journey, and to play. It's always great to play in Sunderland.
Time now for your weather. Here's Paul Mooney.
Good evening. As we head into the weekend, well, it's a weekend of two halves. It looks as if Saturday should be mostly dry with some bright spells. Sunday, enough clouds to produce some patchy rain at times. Been a few showers around this evening, still be the odd one overnight, but they will be few and far between. Most places will be dry with clear spells, lighter winds, get a bit of shelter from the breeze. We'll see a touch of mist and fog forming. Temperatures down to a chilly 2 or 3 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow morning, any early mist and fog will lift into low cloud. It could linger in some eastern areas through the course of the day. So parts of Cumbria probably seeing the best of the sunshine, and that's where we'll see the highest afternoon temperatures. With lighter winds tomorrow, highs around 9 degrees Celsius. Into Sunday, there will be more cloud around, especially late in the day. Patchy rain becoming more widespread, lingering into Monday.
That's it from the Late Team. Your next bulletin is tomorrow tea time. Bye for now.